All right, we're now going to look at other ways of making websites. And I'm going to start you guys, and you can log into this, WordPress.com. Who's heard of WordPress? All right. So Adobe, that makes Photoshop, which you've all heard of, had a piece of software called Adobe Dreamweaver, and that's what a lot of people built websites in, especially designers that weren't pure coders. So the web and software developers.
So you have WordPress.org or WordPress.com?
Com. Go to com
Okay.
first. There's two of them, and I'll explain that.
Okay.
Yep, there's two. So the people that know code and do code 100% all day, every day can build websites in Notepad. Designers often knew code, but not enough to be comfortable working in that. They wanted more of a what you see is what you get, that WYSIWYG editor. So long time ago, Microsoft had a program called FrontPage that you would build your websites visually, and then it would generate the code. And then Adobe Dreamweaver did the same thing, and that's what almost everybody used. But that software, back in that day, you actually bought it piece by piece, and it was about an $800 piece of software, and you had to have the software to build the website and to edit it. So companies could have that, but individuals very rarely did. And then if you were doing work for, like if I was a designer and a company hired me to build them a website, unless they had Dreamweaver and were trained in it, they couldn't update their own website. They would always have to call me for updates. So WordPress is this idea where all of the software is online and you build it online, and whoever has accounts with that website or has permissions can come in and edit it. So it's really quite popular. WordPress.org is the more professional version that businesses use. WordPress.com, the one that we logged into right now, is the more individual-friendly, I want to make a blog, I want to make a website for my family, something like that, okay? They're both free, but the thing with WordPress.com is that it's going to save your website to a domain name that they have, that they give you. So I built one. I want to show you, kind of give you an idea of how it looks the other day, and if I have all my many logins and passwords down here. 525 praise home. So when I was setting this up, oh boy, you'll need two things. Log in. Okay, let's do that. Who am I? If you guys want to, on WordPress.com, make sure you're on com, start getting an account, go through all the steps. I would use the Gmail that you created just for this class. Remember when we have to back up. You guys all started a fake company a long time ago, right? Remember that? We set up an email account, usually a Gmail, so that we had a fake account to use with everything. Set up a WordPress.com site with that email. Document what you're writing down, because this is gonna be a login and a password exclusive to this. Once you're in there, it's going to walk you through some different questions. Actually, I'm going to try to do this again. Let me see if I can do this. All right. Remember, when it's asking me things like this, username and password, absolutely remember these. This is really important. Sorry, that username already exists. Really? Okay, so after you've done that step, it asks you what you want to build today. So if, again, you're a person wanting to do a blog, you would choose that. If you're wanting to make a business site, which you guys are because we're pretending we all have a business, that would be a very logical option to pick. Professional is more like a portfolio, school class projects and class info, or an online store. So let's not go crazy. Let's not build an online store. Let's choose the business option. And if you pick something different already, don't worry about that because we can go back and tweak some of this. So what does your business do? This is just going to help generate potential templates for you and help promote this site. We're going to make clear that this is just a class project website. So what does your business do? I'm going to say yoga. And then it says, scroll down to see your website. Once you complete setup, you'll be able to customize it further. So this is the one that it comes up with based on me saying yoga. And then if you're happy with that, click the continue button. And then tell us your site's name. This appears at the top of your site and can be changed at any time. So this is going to be equivalent to the title in HTML code, and it's probably going to be equivalent to the header, or the H1. Not the H1, the header. So the title shows up in the search engine results and in the tab up here, and it probably will also populate at the top of your page. So if this ends up being set up, if you're just playing along and not doing it super serious for your business right now, I get that. You're going to have time to go back. Plus, you're going to have options. You don't have to build it in this version. So notice as I'm typing this in up here in the site name, it's populating right here, basically in the header. And we click continue. Give your site an address. Enter your site's name or some keywords to describe it to get started. And again, it's automatically going to put in, you're not getting your own domain name on WordPress.com because it's free. It's going to generate a name for you based on something that you put in here. So I'm going to try Yogoats and see what happens. So yogoats.blog is available in a paid plan, which I don't want. These are all paid. Where's this free one?
Right under the, it says free right there. Down?
Down?
No, that's too far. Right there.
Oh, hello. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the free generic name that they would give you. Your, whatever words you type in, .wordpress.com is the free version. So I'm going there. And then they again try to sell you something. But obviously, if this were something you were doing for real with a business, you might talk to them and consider some options. So this free option over here, I'm going to say start free. And it says give us a minute and we'll get rolling. I work in WordPress.org, which is the paid version, and I'm going to explain that to you. So things are a little bit different. This is not going to be the layout that I'm used to seeing, but I want to show you this one because this is the completely free version that we're going to practice with in this class. So from here, basically what you need to do is start looking around. We see that we have an About Us section, products and services, a Get in Touch, and an address. So can you imagine, since this is clicking, if we were to click in here, look what happens. If you go down to the bottom, it's just an editable text box, very much like Microsoft Word. So we can type in right here our real address, 1290 Main Street. And just like in Microsoft Word, I think you're seeing that when you're in here, you can highlight a word and click on bold, and it's going to bold it for you. And you can make it italic. You can make it a hyperlink and type in your the HTTP www address that you want it to go to. Also, in this extra button where you see the 3 dots, from the drop down we see Edit as HTML. So guess what? Does this look familiar to you now when I switch to edit to HTML?
You.
Paragraph style is align the text on the left, strong, a break tag, more strong tags, another break tag, 2 more breaks, and the end of the paragraph. So that's actually something that you guys have seen before, and you can go between HTML or edit visually. Again, we're seeing options. As you click on a block, it's giving you options of how wide you want it, if you want the picture to be full width. If you click on the pencil, that's almost always the universal sign for edit this. It says edit the media. So if I click on the pencil, these are the images that came with this particular template that I'm using. But if I wanted to add a picture of my own, I could click on this Add New button and grab a picture and say Open. And in a second, it's going to populate this. This is now available to me in my photo gallery, or my, let's just call it a photo library. It's available for me to use, and if that's the picture I actually want there, I would click Insert, and now I have a different picture in this box. So it's fairly simple. Another cool thing, you see if you hover over a block, you get a plus above it, and it says Add a block. So if you wanted to add something, you could say, okay, the block that I want to add is just going to be a paragraph. Maybe it's going to be just an image. I want it to be a gallery. I want it to be a list. It's giving you a really, really easy version of clicking on what you want to add, and then it's going to walk you kind of through the steps of uploading a picture or typing in your text. That was in the block editing, or as we click on it, we're in the block editing. But if we're over here editing the document overall as a whole, status and visibility, we can say who wants to see this. Right now it says public. We can switch it to private or password protected. If you end up making something for this class in this software piece, I'm going to show you one other one. I would recommend that you make it private so that it doesn't accidentally get indexed by real search engines and appear like a real business. So I'm going to change this to private right now. Yes. Permalink is the actual website address that was assigned to this, yogoats.wordpress.com, and because this is the first page or the only page so far, it's the index page that loads right away. If we made extra pages, this is where they would show their file name as well. Featured image, quite often, is this image right here. Actually, it says it's the covered image. So if we were to click on that and change the cover image, that would change what we see right here. Discussion. WordPress was originally set up to be a blog site, and the thing about blogs that we learned weeks ago is that the reason that you like to blog is that people correspond with you, right? They comment, there's back and forth. And so if you want people to be able to comment on your posts, you turn the comments on. If you don't want them commenting on it, you would turn it off. So it says allow comments right here. So when I build a business page in WordPress.org, which I'm going to show you, the only page that I allow comments on is the post page where there's back and forth. So when I make a page that says our prices or about us, the last thing I want is people commenting on those pages. I don't want them to be able to write at the bottom, your prices are too high, you suck. You don't want commenting on every page. But on the pages that you do want to have a dialogue with your end consumers, you do enable the comments. So long story, long fun project short, this is how you could build a website in WordPress.com. Okay? I'm now going to show you WordPress.org and show you a slight difference there. If I type it in correctly. WordPress.org is the professional version where you can use your own domain name. It's not going to be, you can think LTC would never have their website be ltc.wordpress.com. That shows that it's just a subdomain, a free website of WordPress. So if you guys are looking for somebody to do business with and they don't have their own domain name, they have a subdomain on something like this or somewhere else free, do you have a lot of trust in them as a business?
Mm-mm.
Domains are cheap now, right? There's no reason to not have your own domain name. That's far more professional. So the way WordPress works is you go here and you actually click on Get WordPress, and all of the software, don't do it, all the software that runs WordPress is downloaded to your computer as a zip file. From there, you set up a domain name somewhere and hosting of your website. So you go out and say, I want yogoats.com to be my domain name. Does it exist? I don't know. How do we find out? You guys ever looked for a domain name? An easy place to go is GoDaddy. You've heard of them, so I'm just going to go there first because they're one of many that has the same search capability. On GoDaddy.com, if you want to see if a domain exists, this is where you would type it in. So if I type in yogoats.com, yogoat.com, oops, it's goat singular, let's do S, is available. Yogoats.com is taken, but it's going to tell me, here's some other options. What about, do you want .co or .org? Org is typically a nonprofit, so keep that in mind when you're registering domain names. But here's showing some other options that exist. If I want the one called goatshow.com, it's only going to cost me $3,788. Yeah. But look at the rest of these, $2, $3. So this is one of many places that you can go. And GoDaddy also has hosting. So you could sign up for, or they also have WordPress installed there. You could sign up for a domain name and hosting, which is where your company would store it, all in one swoop. So from here, I'm going to back up to this. After you click on this and get a downloaded zip file of all the WordPress files that make it work, you then go to wherever you're hosting your website, and using some software that they give you called a cPanel, you upload all those files to your domain, where your domain is hosted, and then from there you go ahead and build your website on your domain. So I made one in my WordPress class last fall just for demonstrations. So the domain name brendabachman.me was available for $1.99, so I bought that for my class. And then I can store lots of websites on this if I want to. So these /Ethel and /test, these are actually domain full websites themselves. So if I click on test, and then patient, something will eventually load. There we go. So this is what one of many themes that WordPress has that I was just using to show in class. So we were able to put in a menu up here. We were able to add some posts. We were able to embed a Twitter account over here using all these easy features that WordPress gives you. We added some audio. We added some videos. We embedded a YouTube video right on this page. We made a photo gallery using their information in there. And, okay, that's not the gallery I thought it was. We basically practiced a bunch of different things. Here's my first post. Can you guys, based on your HTML knowledge, guess how this was coded right here, this section? What do you think? This is my first post. How do you think that was coded? With what tags specifically?
Heading, font.
I hear heading, but H1 literally, right? H1 is the biggest. What do you notice about it?
Bold.
Yeah, so either strong or bold tags. How did this get coded?
The list.
The bulleted list is what kind of list? Unordered, UL, yeah. So you guys know the code behind it. So this is the frontward facing what it looks like. But to work on this, you actually type in your domain name, and then you type in WP admin. Everybody does that. And from here you get a login screen, and you have to say who you are. So this is how it works really well with companies. Maybe I built a site for a company, but I give the marketing person their own login and permissions, and they can go to these pages and make changes, but nothing else. Maybe I give the salespeople a login, their own login, and they have permission to go to the sales pages and tweak those, but nothing else. somebody high up in the company has all rights. I give them all permissions. They can log in and do anything and everything to their site. So on WordPress, who am I? That's a good question. I am This is the dashboard that we see on the other version of WordPress, the .org one where you actually install it. You get the software and then you install it on your server. So this is more what I'm familiar with seeing compared to the one that we were just practicing in. So from here, you can make pages, and all the pages on this site right now are right here. I have a About Us page, I have a Contact Us page, I have a privacy policy page, I have a sample page, and as you hover over them, you see there's a quick edit button. So this is so much easier than your clients having to know code, which they don't, or them having to own software. So you just say, hey, you can go in here and you can do things. This is all about us, and then I just typed in a bunch of gibberish, and I'm actually in the text mode. I can switch to visual, and this is how I see it. Whatever theme I have installed is going to pick the fonts, the colors, and the look. I can tweak that if I know how to and want to, but it kind of sets up things based on colors that are going to look good and fonts that they know work well together. From here, I can click on this Add Media button, and in my media library, I can either upload new pictures or I can pick some that are already in here. So if I wanted this picture to be on my About Us page, I would click on it and say Insert, and there it is. And it's wherever my cursor happened to be. Had it been up here, it would have inserted at the top of the page. But this is a simple page where you could change that. You could trust somebody in your company to have access to this page and just update this without much worry. So you give them a login, and when they get here, they're limited to what they can actually see. And if you're happy with that, you click on Update, and it gets published. Posts are like the blogging, where you just say something, and then people can comment on them. So if I wanted to add a new post, click here. And then it's as simple as this. Enter your title here, Happy April. And then if I wanted to add a picture, I could again click here. That's the one I want. The reason this went over to the right is just like in Microsoft Word, you guys are familiar with seeing this align right. So if I say align left, problem solved. And then tomorrow we get snow. And I say publish that. I'm on the back side of it, the dashboard where you do all your work, which is where we are right now. But if I wanted to see my site, it's right up here. It says Brenda's class test site. I can click on view site. And because this is a blog-based theme, my posts appear on the front page. And there's the one I just made, Happy April. Posted April 9th by me. Tomorrow we get snow, and here's my picture. So the posts just keep adding to this page. The most recent ones are always on top. It's very, very simple. The cool thing about WordPress that I really like is this thing called themes. And back in our dashboard, in the back side of it, I can come down here and click on appearances, and then underneath you have all these different options. And here's themes. WordPress has hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of themes. And if I wanted that, all I would have to do is click on any one of these that I see here. And there's only a few showing right now, but we can search for more. So let's say I like this version of Ash, and I want to see the details. This is what this theme looks like. If I want it, I can do a live preview of my site. And this is what it would look like under this new theme. There's Happy April. Here's all those different posts I made with different pictures assigned to them based on the theme that it was. Here's my next post, read more. Next post, here's uploading PDFs. So changing the look of your site is super, super easy. And I hope that from the 3, 4, 5 weeks that I tortured you with HTML and CSS, you kind of understand the bones of it. All the words I typed in are the bones of it, the HTML, right? All the pretty The changing, the pictures, the fonts are the CSS that this theme said, okay, take whatever she gave us and let's put it on a different theme. So if I also go to this themes area right here, and you wanted to add a new theme, you could click up here. And ones shown right here are the featured themes. We have popular, we have the latest, or we can filter it out. So say we wanted a theme that was based on, I don't know, but it was a photography-based site. I wanted it to be accessible, have a custom header and a full width template, and I wanted it to be a grid layout. And then I can say, what do you have? Go. One theme, but that was pretty detailed, right? If I want to just see what's popular right now, maybe this is the theme I want. I could do details and preview. Over here gives all the information about the theme. It's always important to look and see how many people have reviewed it. A 5-star rating from 10 people versus a 4-star rating from 5,000 people. I would always trust the one with more ratings. Some themes are great, some are really glitchy and horrible. So this is showing you what it would look like, how their heading ones are handled, what a paragraph looks like, what its lists look like. And if you want it, you just click install and that whole new theme is installed for you. So it's pretty fun finding a theme. So WordPress is very popular. You may all, I suspect if you all end up at a business that's a smaller business to a medium size, it's fairly likely that their site was built in WordPress. And if you ever have to do updating, you just come in here. If they were to say, you know what, you need to go and change our page, go to the About Us page and add our new employee. So you would just go here, and if this were a list of all employees, you could start typing down here. Come on, let go of that, or wherever you want to type. Here's our new employee. And then you come up here and you'd hit update, and it's live. Your website is updated. Users, this is the cool part where we can add different users. So I could add somebody based on their email, and I could give them certain roles. They could be an administrator, or they could just have access to certain pages. And once I add them here, it sends out an email to them and says you've been invited to be an administrator or a provider on this page. All they have to do is click yes, and they have access to this too. So that's WordPress in a nutshell. Any questions? Okay. Let's take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to show you Wix. And you're going to have an option to either work in WordPress.com or in Wix.com. So hopefully you played along and at least got started on the WordPress.com. And we're going to do the same thing with Wix, and then you can decide from there. So we'll come back in about 10 minutes and look at that.